Hello. Hi. Due to my unexpected hospitalization, I decided it would be the best course of action to fuck, the dog just started. It was decided to be best to record the remainder of the event. I still have the day when it happens. I'm recording this on 10th actually, so like the day before the event, like the day almost the day before the event ends. And today I'm going to be doing something I haven't done before. I'm just going to be recording. Just recording. As you can see, update, I got Shalom. Everyone who's not in my Discord, I got Shalom. So, as such, I got both Shalom and Kugelik. Surprisingly, completely free to play. Did not expect that to happen, admittedly, but here we go. Last time we finished this, I didn't quite finish it, honestly. It was kind of like mushy all over the place. I think I got the history between Christina and Shalom. I got understanding. I started understanding why she follows her like a sweet little puppy. And now, after everything, we're going to be moving on to part two, the hustle. And the second part of the part 2 of the hustle, the third scene. Start. I'm gonna go immediately to it. No real reason to delay it. Christina feels like she's back in good shape. Do you now? She runs all the way to the crime scene only to see a large number of detectives and FAC personnel have sealed off the area. Alright. Give me a moment. I need to check just my microphone line. Okay. Only to see a large number of detectives and FAC personnel have sealed off this area, and the guy leading them was a familiar face. Why are you here? Never mind, I can't stop you anyway. Finally, the inspector waves his hand and lets her in. Christina has also made her mind that this time she will not resort to violence, nor will she damage anything at the scene. Eastside 3rd Avenue, crime scene at the Future Charity Foundation Park. Although Christina had a feeling when she heard their frightened reaction, she still had felt a headache when it actually happened. The incident in Future Charity Foundation perfectly matches all of Shalom's concerts. The foundation concerns. The foundation is influential and difficult to control due to the large number of staff. If a scandal breaks out, it will greatly affect FAC's future operations. The park now has been sealed off by FAC and by the East Side Public Security Bureau. The Future Charity Foundation, where the incident occurred, was on yesterday's warning list and is one of the few organizations that scoffed at the warning. After all, their job is to operate and distribute FAC compensation. There is only one body at the scene, which has been sent for examination by the Public Security Bureau. Christina only got a report. According to the description in the report, the victim's flowers were forcibly removed and put in the vases at the scene. On the table in the conference rooms, there are many vases of flowers that look completely normal. If it weren't for the weren't cordoned off, Christina wouldn't even think that the people here had just left the conference room. But in fact, it's possible that all of the vitality of the victim has been put into these small vases. Christina is almost numb to it. Investigate the vases. Among the mixed color plants in the vases, numerous bright red broken petals can be found. The familiar texture and the scent indicate they are pneumonia flowers, only their shape is somewhat incomplete. It's as if a person has been divided into pieces and put in different places. Christina meticulously checks each vase of flowers, discovering that each of them hides some pieces of various mania flowers. At the scene, a piece of clothing is left behind, and a human figure is barely outlined on the ground with the chalk lines. Is this the victim who was found? Or wasn't his body completely consumed by the flowers? That is a good question, actually. That is a good question. This is a meeting report, the top page of which states that the topic of the meeting proposal to increase the amount of charity compensation. The draft was written by someone called Eugen. Could it be the victim whose body was the one that didn't vanish? Search for information. Christina finds some basic information from the internet. Eugen used to work in the FEC logistics department in his early years, but left the FEC after Nightfall 103 to establish the Future Charity Foundation with several colleagues. In addition to Eugen, there are also 12 elders of the same level as him in the Charity Foundation. This is a nameplate commonly found in the conference rooms with a handwritten name on it. Christina looks up the name, but nothing comes up. Jonas J. Pigeon. Okay, nothing comes up about it. She can't find a person that has the same name. Nameplate marked with the name, non-regular print, but looks handwritten. The name slightly differs from that of the known victim. Oh, pictures. This is a set of landscape paintings, 3 pieces in total. At first glance, there is nothing unusual. A small safe in the conference room. There's special metal on it indicates. A small safe in the conference room. The special metal on its exterior is dull and non-reflective, looking rather hard to break. Christina carefully observes the safe, finding that it does not use a traditional lock, but a paired electronic key. Christina prepares to break it, if she can't find the key. Okay. With only a few clues, Christina looks around at the entire conference room and still focuses her gaze on the paintings. She has a feeling that there is something wrong. Christina observes the paintings bit by bit. On both sides of the central painting, she discovers 2 very concealed grooves that can perfectly accommodate a finger. Christina tries to put her finger in and hears a sound of some mechanism operating. Move left. The central painting moves when the button pressed. It looks like rather ordinary. Okay. The painting moves when the button pressed. With a click, a faint blue light shines through the peaks of several interconnected mountains in the paintings. The painting moves slowly to reveal an open door in the secret room. Yellow light flickers at the bottom of the locker, indicating that there are still items inside and that it has not been locked. Open. A yellow light flickers at the bottom of the locker, indicating that there are items inside. Take out. Printouts stored in the locker, which seem to be filled with data. In the storage room, there is a neat stack of paper documents. Christina pulls them out and reads them through them carefully. This appears to be a ledger of fund transitions of the Charity Foundation. In this day and age, most data is stored electronically. Can these few pages of paper truly suffice their needs? Examine closely. Christina forces herself to look at these numbers. Slowly, she notices something amiss. The ledgers record all the funds allocated to the FSC at the City Council, starting from 10 years ago up until today. There are 2 transactions each year, with the amounts growing steadily. The purpose of the funds is listed as compensation, but they're going to banks and various investments. No, wait a second. The so-called banks and investments are also fake. These outgoing accounts are actually personal accounts. One of the account names matches exactly with the nameplate you saw on that conference nameplate earlier. Could it be another name for Eugen? Following this lead, Christina looks up the names of the other accounts and finds that these names seem to match the group of people who left the FEC logistics department years ago. As she counts to flip through the documents, a mania flower strangely glows out of the pages, blooming vividly. But the page was flat before she turned to it. Is this Eugen's mania flower? No, that's not right. Christina stares intently at the mania flower and suddenly realizes the problem. Unlike the broken petals in the vases, this mania flower is intact, but it's pieced together. It's made of many petals of varying sizes and shapes, forming a complete flower bit by bit. The types of petals match those placed in vases. Did Eugen's mania flower get placed at different locations, or those flowers belong to different people to begin with? Open it. Take out. A device stored in lockers, hard to judge its purpose from experience, but it could be a cipher for communication. There is also a black electronic cipher in the storage locker. Likely a key left behind by the killer. Right. 2 keys. The storage forced locker displays a red light as if some sort of forced lockdown mechanism has been triggered. It can no longer be opened, and forcing it might damage the clues. Christina doesn't want to risk that. The safe is easily opened with the key. There are no secrets on money inside, just a word-up communication device. Investigate. The things in the safe are gone. No doubt this disposable terminal was put in place by the suspect. Christina carefully checks this terminal. All the content inside is deleted. Did the suspect leave it here to communicate with her? What does she want to do? To mock her for being late again, or argue about justice? No, Chris, you need to stay calm and not be affected by the enemy's tricks. Ding-a-ling! The terminal rings, but it's not the one in her hand. It's Christina's own. How are things, kid? Nothing happened at the scene, right?
動機は大体分かったよ。この慈善財団はやはり10年前のあの作戦と関わってる。そして意外にも最初の2人の被害者ともつながりがあったみたい。
I think I'm very certain about the killer's motive. The charity foundation is indeed related to the battle 10 years ago, and surprisingly, it has some relation to the previous 2 victims.
慈善財団が不正な手段を使って懲役金を横領したため、正当な手続きを求める遺族が数多く存在してる。
Because the charity foundation has tampered with the compensation, many families received a fair treatment.
でも結局、その遺族たちはアンナニアの報道に誤った情報を吹き込まれたか、ネイさんに脅迫されたと思われるよ。
They were either misled by Anania's report,
の球団に慈善財団も相当力を入れたようだね。
or threatened by Nathan. And the charity foundation has also put a lot of effort into suppressing the FAC.
でも現場にはまだわからない点がいくつかある。
But there are some discrepancies at the scene that I haven't quite cleared up.
それは何だ?
What is that?
現場には一人の被害者しかいないのに、共同の花は12本もある。しかもどれも被害者の体から咲いた花じゃない。
There is only one victim at the scene, but 12 different mania flowers are here, none of which match the victim.
開花された人間からは1種類の花しか咲かない。つまり被害者は少なくともあと12人いるってこと。それに被害者の体は国立の能力で固定されてるけど、
Yeah, that's
現場に彼の花がないんだよ。
very good observation. If there's more flowers of different varieties, probably more people. Each person can only bloom one kind of flower, indicating that there are at least 12 other victims. And the victim's bodies was solidified by the effect of the Coquelix ability, but his flowers were not here at the scene.
つまり一人の花と開花された12人の人がこの現場にあるはずなのに。
That means at least one person's flower and 12 people who have bloomed have disappeared from this scene. The suspect is very attention-seeking, and she has a strong sense of ritual for these missing things. It's like she's inviting her to solve the case, to look for the truth, and what's more important is... In autumn's prime, wine and mead gleam, gold and silver set the festive scene. As year's end nears, vast and wide, over dried wells I alone stride. There's nothing festive here, only one victim stride alone.
最初の2区は事件の時間、場所と被害者を示している。でも3区目となると被害者は合ってるけど場所は微妙に違ってる。強いて言うなら4区目が示した地点に近いかも。
The first 2 lines of the poem correspond to the location at the time of the case and the victims, while the 3rd line of the poem is right about the victim. There is a subtle mistake with the location, which is closer to the 4th line of the poem.
刑事さん、第4の事件がすでに起きているかもしれない。私たちがまだ現場を見つけてないだけで。ここにないものは第4の事件現場にあるか、3つ目の区が示す場所にあるはずだよ。
Inspector, I suspect the 4th crime scene has already appeared, but we haven't found it yet. The things missing here may all be in the 4th scene, or they can be retrieved from the place corresponding to the 3rd line of the poem. the place corresponding to the in the autumn's prime, wine and mead gleam, gold and silver set the festive scene. Recalling Shalom's speculation, Christina becomes increasingly uneasy.
ダウルさん、未来慈善財団の他のメンバーの居場所を急いで調査してくれる？彼らの資金流動とか、あとは普段通ってる場所とか。
Mr. Dole, can you find out the whereabouts of the other core members of the charity foundations as soon as possible? Their financial flow. Where do they usually spend their money?
今回の被害者は特別な身分の人だから先手を取らないと。
The victim this time is too special. I think we need to get upper hand, otherwise.
ダウル刑事、テレビを見てください。
Inspector, look at the TV!
先ほど匿名の手紙が届きました。
We just received another anonymous document.
その手紙にはこう書かれてあります。数千万を上回る懲役金がどこへ行ったか知りたいのなら、この者たちが104年にした行いを見ればいい。
Where the words of the covenant say, want to know where the 10% of millions of compensation went? Ask what they did in Nightfall 104.
どうやら犯人は何らかのメッセージを伝えようとしているようです。消えた懲役金とあのパーティーで被害に遭った方たちの間に一体どんな関係があ
It
るの
seems
で
the
しょう
killer
か。
wants to sell us
引き
something.
続き続報をお待ちください。
The missing compensation funds and the victims at the banquet. What's the connection between the two? Our reporters will continue to bring you updates.
速報です。ニューシティ第3ストリートのサンセットクラブにて最新の事件が発生しました。
Breaking
最
news!
近起きた殺人事件はこれで4件目です。
The latest crime scene has been found at the Sunset Club on East Side Third Avenue, marking it the fourth case in the recent series of incidents.
最新情報をお届けします。こちらは現場からの映像です。これは何のパーティーでしょうか。テーブルに花が。なんということでしょう。あれは悪魔が植えた花でしょうか。
We're getting the latest updates. Live images are coming from the scene. What kind of banquet is this? These flowers on the dining table. Oh my goodness, are these devil's work? The inspector sends over images and Christina stares blankly. Among the mammoth objects of the on the dining table, she recognizes 12 familiar flowers.
他の12人の被害者、そしてあの花。
Another 12 victims, a banquet of flowers.
これが秋日和、
Yeah,
山名宴、金谷酒。
this is in autumn's prime. Wine and mead gleam. Gold and silver set the festive scene. Interesting. I love how more on the focus on the investigation this whole situation is. Like, there's definitely something I enjoy about this is that it's completely focused on investigation. Name's mentioning this about relationships with her kids, always arguing and fighting. She's a lot weaker than me, so she should thank me for always letting her win. We've only grown closer recently, even though she still doesn't seem to like me much. I think our relationship is improving incrementally. We're sisters after all. My aunt once says that Mireia had a sixth sense about people. I wonder if that's true. Maybe she can be my assistant in the future. Yeah. Nathan is exceeding the order from a certain mission and that's for money. Yeah, Nathan is executing. Based on further investigation, Nathan's direct superior is Eugene from the Future Charity Foundation, the victim of the third case, who is presumed to be dead. Yeah. This is a good connection of stuff. This is really good. Number of Chamber of Silence case. The case is estimated to have happened on the August 11th, Nightfall 113. The number of victims is not yet confirmed, but is estimated between 1 and 13. The only confirmed victim, Eugene, is the founder of the Future Charity Foundation. The crime scene is the site of his murder. Hall of Greed case. The case is estimated to have happened in the night of August 11, Nightfall 113, theoretically after the third case. The crime scene is located in the famous private club, the Sunset Club. Under the killer's plan, the site was exposed by the media. Other information is yet to be confirmed. First, we must determine the killer's purpose for exposing the crime scene. Yep, we already found these. Basically decoded with a cipher. It contains heaps of messages between Eugen and the two previous victims, as well as the other founded members of Charity Foundation. He seems to be a key figure in the revenge plan. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Okay. The fourth scene. We are going to dive into the fourth scene. Out of breath, Christina arrives at the Sunset Club. It's a major hotel in this side, usually bustling with people. Today, there are even more people gathered outside, all reporters and bystanders who were forced to leave the scene. Of course, there is also a group of East Side's sheriff and FAC soldiers who have come late to clear the scene.
ゴシップレポートゴシップレポート
Gossip
ニューシティ治安
reporter!
局はどうしてずっと事件現場を封鎖しているんですか何か人に言えない秘密でもあるのでしょうか
Gossip TV reporting! Gossip TV reporting! Why is the public security bureaus of these sites still sealing off the scene? What secrets are they hiding?
FAC の懲役金の件は今回の事件と何か関係がありますか？コンビクトは関与していますか？
Can you tell us about what the FAC's compensation case has to do with this case? Were there any sinners involved in this case?
なぜこうした治安事件の現場に FAC が来ているんでしょうかこの事件は彼らの管轄ですか FAC が横領したから犯人の報復を招いたんじゃないですか
Why did the public security case involve the FAC? Is it within their jurisdiction? Is the killer seeking revenge because of the FAC pocketed the funds?
私をインタビューして今回の事件は最新の作戦計画と関係あるに決まってるわ
Me!
これで
Interview me!
FAC の陰謀が公になるのよ
Yeah, people are people. This is definitely related to the FAC's recent agenda. They can't hide the truth forever.
FAC は町を守る盾ではなく秘密裏に町の安全を破壊する危険な組織だと吹聴する人がいますがどう思われますか
Some say the FAC is not a shield for protecting the city, but a dangerous organization, secretly and demanding security. What do you comment on this? The clamor and the intermittent flashes make the scene increasingly chaotic. Christina remains silent, trying her best to squeeze through the crowd. The shouting reporters are easily pushed aside by her, and the detectives guarding the scene let her through after glancing at her intern ID. Inspector Dole stands at the hotel entrance, shaking his head when he sees her.
もう調査しなくてもいい。現場はもはや役に立たない。
No need to look. The scene is no longer useful.
役に立たないって
What do you mean by no longer useful? Despite his words, she insists on going in. First, she's stunned by the astonishing scene, then immediately understands what the inspector meant. Even though the scene is now sealed off, the first people to enter were reporters who get wind of the news. Their curiosity is enough to destroy everything. Yeah. Christina's gaze moved towards the center of the dining table. The red petals, as vivid as the fresh blood, exude an unsettling aura. The petals' shapes are distorted and irregular, as if twisted and fused into a flower by some strange power. Rather than a flower, it looks more like an organism that's made out of numerous lives, a living mania tree. Mania. Christina is observing the paintings in the banquet hall, which are identical to those ones in the previous scene, except there's no secret chamber behind these ones. From the long table in the center of the scattered chairs and the paintings on the wall, these two crime scenes are strikingly symmetrical. Is that a result of the murderer's obsession with just an interesting coincidence? Investigate. Kitchen cart. Fingerprints of the kitchen cart are even more obvious. Christina even suspects that somebody secretly took food from the cart. Fortunately, this group of intruders didn't leave her a key clue. Guest list. Investigate. The guest list has total 13 guests, with check marks next to the names of 12 people. Is this a list of those who attended the banquet, or a death list? Why isn't Eugen marked? Is the criminal trying to mislead us, or was Eugen unable to attend? Before Christina began her investigation, the Inspector Dole and his team had already examined every corner of the scene.
ああ、一通り調べたが、役に立つ手がかりは一つもない。破壊された痕跡があちこちにあるし、
As usual.
位置が変えられたものもある。現場から持ち出された手がかりもあるかもしれない。
Yeah, as usual. You don't expect the press to actually keep the scene contained. Yeah, we've checked. There are signals of damage everywhere. All the clues have been contaminated. Some things might have been moved around, and maybe some other have been taken away.
いいタイミングで裏情報を送ったじゃないか。どうせなら俺らにも送ってほしいな。
Those announcements sent to the media were timely. Why didn't send one or us one too? Whether the criminals sent these letters to destroy the scene or to expose everything as Shalom suggested, it's hard to determine now. But in any case, they were indeed late. As the operation approaches, FSC faces mounting public pressure. If this is the purpose of the underground, they have achieved their goal. For the first time, the mentor didn't leave Christina a puzzle, but instead of wreaked havoc on the scene. Wait, are there really no puzzles here? No place for her to explore?
慈善財団の13人のメインメンバー。どうして一人だけが別の現場に移されたの？
Among all the 13 elders of the charity foundation, why was the only one of them moved to a different scene?
どうして対照的な現場を2つも用意した？
Why go to the trouble of arranging two symmetrical scenes?
慈善財団が復讐を受けた理由は明白だ。しかし、いくら同様の復讐とはいえ、いまいち噛み合わないところがある。
There
贅
isn't
沢な現場を人に見せたいなら、一つで足りるはずなのに。
The reason for the retaliation against the charity foundation is clear, but even if she's doing it as payback, this doesn't make sense. She could have just arranged this one extravagant scene. Why? Christina vaguely realizes that whether the mentor intended it or not, both scenes had some information.
刑事さん、ちょっと考えがあるの。後で第3の事件現場に戻って調査したい。その前に、この第4の事件現場に関して、
I really love
一つ調
the
査を頼みたいの。
new format of just investigation. Not a lot of fighting here, we're just reading and consuming the mystery here. Inspector, I have some ideas. I would like to head back after the third scene later. Before that, there's one more thing at the fourth scene I was hoping you could investigate.
しかしこの現場はもう完全に毀損されている
But
は
the
ずだ
scene has already been completely destroyed.
まだ一つ手がかりが残ってるじゃない。いくら物好きな記者でも手を出せなかった手がかり。
Isn't there still a clue? The one that even the most gossip-loving reporter didn't dare to touch. Christina looked at the terrifyingly large book at the dining table, intimidating and fully contaminated by mania. No one dared to touch it. Where there are puzzles, there's the possibility of uncovering the truth. Looking at the determined Christina, Dole can only let out a long sigh. He really can't deal with this intern. At Christina's strong insistence, the intelligence department tested the flower again. As the result of this test is as Christina thought. The intelligence department detected the DNA of 12 people on this organism, corresponding exactly to the 12 broken flowers in the conference room. This is what Kokelek wants to hide. All the feints and all the mystery of the third and fourth lines of the poem were just to hide a secret, and that's the secret is hidden in the third scene in the conference room.
私に勝ちたい？
Nice. Okay, I'm actually somewhat enveloped by this. Like, I'm actually somewhat enveloped by this entire situation. So, Chamber of Secrets. Let's clear the cat. Oh, no. Interfere with the investigation. Okay. The name of only 12 people was detected in the polymer of the mania flower at the scene, all of whom are founding members of the Future Charity Foundation. Considering also the identity of the victim in the conference room, this case must be inexplicably linked to the third case. The killer stirred up public opinion to disturb the investigations and prevent them from furthering pursuit of the third case. Yeah. One person died at the scene. Eugen, who was supposed to have died in a banquet hall, actually died in the conference room. The mania flower that appeared in the Chamber of Silence case likely came from the banquet hall, meaning that Eugen probably was not killed by the suspect in the serial attack case, but was not killed by the suspect in the serial case attack case, the mentor of the garden. I see. Okay, so she didn't kill him. Kokelek didn't kill him, actually. So who did? Who killed him? The subtle discrepancies discovered at the fourth scene have made Christina determined to investigate the third scene. I wonder. Christina is somewhat relieved to see two crime scenes aren't too far apart. They don't have much time left. If she's right, then There's something wrong with the case at the third scene. Perhaps Eugen didn't die at the hands of the mentor.
あの師匠が自分の美学に背いてまで第3の事件に続いて無理して第4の事件を起こした。
The mentor meticulously planned this.
それを覆い隠すためだ。
She even violated her own principles and forcibly created a fourth scene just to cover this up.
犯人に隠したいことがあるなら
If the criminal has something to hide,
それを見つける義
we
務が
must
ある。
uncover it. She storms into the conference room. This time, she will unravel the lies between the lies. Beneath the lies, not between the lies. Well, though it kind of works both ways. Christina understands the killer's thought process. Things are sometimes real and sometimes fake. What seems like obvious flaws are actually messages left by the killer, and what seems like perfect disguises might have a hidden intention. Christina operates the central painting, and after moving it to the far right, she ignores the activation sound of the mechanism and continues to press right at the right groove. The mechanism moves slowly, and the brand new opening appears in front of her. Hidden painting. A painting with obvious signs of fire damage, cleverly hidden by the suspect behind the original painting mechanism. Analysis of the mark determines that it corresponds to a long knife set ablaze. A long knife set ablaze. Huh. That sounds familiar. Weirdly familiar. This is the painting displayed at the third scene when the incident occurred. The burnt blade marks indicate the presence of another killer. This kind of attack is completely different from the mentor's usual practice. And to hide this secret, the mentor not only painstakingly designed various puzzles, but also violated her own notice letter. Enter the chamber. Hack open. Christina had cracked the mentor's puzzle. She isn't afraid of any other consequences. It directly hacks open the lower red storage cabinet with an axe. Inside, there is only a flowery scroll, which looks exactly the same as the one she received before. Little one, you need to speed up your puzzle solving. If this was her first time here, Christina might have been upset by her. But now, Christina just feels like it's unnecessary. The blade marks she should have just discovered clearly weren't cast by Kokilik's power, but by another ability. And the fact that Eugen's flowers can be found anywhere indicates one thing. When Kokilik showed up, he shouldn't grow a flower anymore. Someone had already killed him.
オーエンは別の暗殺者にやられたんだ。コクリコがこんな面倒なことまでしたのは、その暗殺者の存在を隠すため。その暗殺者も花天園のコンビクト。
Possibly.
そして弱い。
Eugen was killed by another assassin. Kokilik made all this fuss just to help her cover everything up. That person is also Sinner from the garden, and a very weak one. This is an opportunity.
師匠の命に背いて人を殺め、現場に多くの痕跡を残した。彼女のせいで、コクリコは仕方がなく完璧だった計画を放棄して、事件現場を破壊した。オーエンを襲撃した犯人は、思った以上に組みしやすいかもしれない。
Probably, yeah. Not only did she commit the crime against Mentor's will and leave so many flaws at the scene, but she also forced the narcissistic Kokilik to cover up her original plan, to help her to give up her original plan to help cover up the scene. The criminal who attacked Eugen is definitely easier to deal with.
彼女は突破口になるはず。でも、どうすれば
She will be a breakthrough, but what should I do? Just then the phone rings.
よくやってくれた、クリスティナ。続きは私に任
Well
せたま
done,
え。
Chris. Leave the rest to me. Yeah, I figured this is the time. This is the moment where Shalom steps in. The culprit of Eugen's case is someone else. Traces of an Essence Assassin's ability were found at the scene. It can now be confirmed that this case is the case that occurred in Back in Hall, being both correspond to the third line of the poem. The mentor tampered with the scene only to cover up the tracer of the killer. Yeah. We don't really know this for the final clue here. Fire damage. Judging by the number of cases, all 4 cases have been cleared up, but there's still a discrepancy here. The banquet hall case fits the description of the 3rd line of the poem, and the conference room case also matches the description of the 4th line of the poem. However, the timings of the 3rd and 4th cases are reversed. Yeah. Okay. Is this battle? Is there a battle here? Yeah, there's battle here. Nice. Ooh, more of these. Garden's Shadow Strike. Garden Assassin. Garden Executioner. Garden Executioner Elite. Rumors are rife that there are survivors of the Future Charity Foundation and that someone has started to take action from shadows. Level 12, 20, that's fine. Netizen A. Have you heard the Future Charity Foundation case? It's about the FSC scandal from 10 years ago. It's a big deal. Netizen B. I did? Wow, 1 billion Discoins, that's huge. I'm not a family member and even I'm furious. Pretending to be so innocent. There must be some whistleblower in the FSC. Netizen A. Speaking of which, the East Side Hotel massacre. It seems like someone silenced all the people involved and all the core members of the charity foundation were wiped out. Amazing, what a hero. Netizen B. Hers was the beautiful assassin from Garden? Punishing evil and promoting good. Brilliant. Anonymous. No, didn't you hear? There's one more person who didn't die. The real mastermind behind the foundation, Eugen. He didn't go to the East Side Hotel at all. His signature wasn't among the guests at the banquet. Yes, I have a mole with the criminal investigation team who told me there was murder at the hotel, at the Future Charity Foundation to be exact. Even before all this, only one victim, Eugen. But do you know, Eugen isn't dead. He was saved. A photo straight from the criminal investigation team's database. Bait. Impossible. He was the source of all the scandals. He set up the entire charade, took the most money, and in the end, he's the only one left alive? Where's the justice in that? How could have the garden failed? Aren't they the most ruthless and brutal assassins? A few assassins are a match for the bigwigs of the charity foundations. They were fooled. Uh, 2125.
刑事さん、説明してください。オーウェンがまだ生きているというのは本当ですか？どうして情報を隠しているのですか？
9:25 p.m. August 14th. Nightfall 113. East Side 3rd Avenue, Future Charity Foundation Sanatorium. Inspector, we demand an explanation. Is it true that Eugen is still alive? What are you trying to achieve by keeping this a secret?
実は花庭園の暗殺者なんて存在せず、すべてはオーウェンの自作自演なのでは？昔のスキャンダルが露呈して自分が狙われているのを知り、だからあえてそういう計画を立てて逃げようとしたのではないですか？
The reporter has a very living imagination, that's for sure. Could it be that there were never any assassins from the garden? That this is all Eugen's own doing? When he heard someone was clearing up the scandal from back then, he faked his own death, didn't he?
説明してください。みんながこの事件に注目しています。いくら隠そうとしても無駄です。療養所でオーウェン本人に会った人
Give
がい
an
るんです。
explanation. The attention is getting higher. You can't hide this. We saw him in person at the sanatorium. Reporters who got wind of the story have completely blocked the front door of the Future Charity Foundation sanatorium. They all hold so-called reliable information in their hands, clamoring for Eugen, the Charity Foundation head who's clinging to life, to come out and confess. The scene is a buzz with noise all at once. On the other side of the crowd, the slender figure stands for a while before turning to leave. Trestal. She cleverly considers her face, moving quietly without drawing attention, but her pace quickens, finally darting to the dark alley, running, filled with surging hatred.
私のミスよ。自分で後始末しないと。追い出されてもいい。これ以上師匠に迷惑をかけるわけには。
It's my mistake. I need to clean up this mess. Even if I'm driven out, I can't cause any more trouble for a mentor.
ちくしょう。あいつの体を間違いなく刺して、能力も発動したのをちゃんと確認したのに。
She uses the burning blade. Bastard, bastard! I clearly stabbed him. I used my ability. I made sure.
あのクズ野郎がまだ生きているなんて。あいつのせいでたくさんの人が死ん
The
だのに。
scumbag can leave. Why can't the people he killed? She made sure the man who was in the top secret ward in the northeast corner, who had just been urgently transferred there 3 years ago. She couldn't possibly mistake the man in the photo. It was the bastard who ruined her life.
殺す。
何度でも殺してやる。この手で。
I'll kill you. I'll kill you over and over. Again, I'll kill you with my own hands. She turned to a side door hidden in the shadows where someone has been waiting for her.
やっぱり来たね。独房はもういいの？
You really did come. As you can find, men have been lifted.
どうしてここに？
Why are you here?
もう一人の犯人が君だとは思わなかったよ。
I didn't expect it to be you
どう
either.
やら
We sure are
私た
fated.
ちは縁があるようだね。シャローム姉さんの言う通りだよ。許可なく行動する新人の殺し屋の君ならきっと師匠に尻拭いさせたことを悔しがってるだろう。だからこそきっと自分の二度目の失敗は許せない。
Shalom was right. A rookie assassin who is so stubborn that she would act without the permission of the mentor, and a junior who needs her mentor to clean up after her, would absolutely not tolerate failing a second time.
その執着心のせいで私の罠に引っかかったんだよ。
You're so eager to put someone to death, and that's why you fell for this trap. Assassin's voice begins to tremble, her eyes reddening.
やはりあの時に殺しておくべきだったわね。
Should have killed you back then.
オーエン殺害の容疑でここで君を逮捕する。もう復讐という名の悪事はやめておとなしく全てを白状して。これが最後のチャンスなんだから。
Stop committing atrocities in the name of vengeance. Now I'm arresting you for the attempted murder of Eugen. Surrender and confess. This is your last chance. Oh, nice. Devices. Let's do this, maybe? Yeah, let's do a laser and that's it.
開演の時が来たわ。思う存分。
Let's organize a reticle front.
行くのか？
We're organizing a reticle front.
自分でやるのも悪くないわ。
I should be able to do it. That should be good. Book. Wow, that was one attack, one kill.
悪く思うなよ。
Nice. Pew pew pew. Considering the overwhelming level difference, I think I won't really have much problems with this.
悪く思うなよ。消滅するので。悪く思うなよ。
ここで咲かせるわ。ここで咲かせるわ。終わるまで。
Dunk, dunk. She does. Cockillick does damage for support. Damage and swiftly and decisively. The assassin is quickly transferred to a safe house for interrogation, and the ninth agency also sends a hypnosis expert to assist in the investigation. Christina was forbidden from attending the interrogation. She had completed her own work and was sitting in the break room feeling a bit dazed.
師匠の力で開花した体は全ての生理的反応が止まる。でもオーウェンの本当の死亡時間は8月9日のはず。
The body that mentor bloomed would stop all normal psychological responses. But I think the real time Eugen's death was August 9th.
あの花庭園の新人が私を助けてくれ
The
た
night that
あの夜だ。
rookie from the garden saved me.
彼女はきっとオーウェンを憎んでいる。だから花庭園の規則を破って師匠を怒らせてまで
She must have
オーウ
deeply
ェン
hated
の暗殺に
Eugen,
赴いた。
so she disregarded the garden's rules and personally sought revenge, even if it meant angering her mentor.
やはりあの時に殺しておくべきだったわね。
I should have killed you back then. Regina leans back, sinking into the couch, also looking at the ceiling, exhausted.
肌を打ったその日に彼女は迷いを感じたのだろうか。だから敵である私を助けた。
On her way back from revenge, did she feel lost for the first time? That's why she saved me, even though I'm clearly her enemy. Yeah. After the revenge was complete, she was like, well, what do I do now? What do I do now?
あまり深く考えるな。ともあれ、 君は
That's
犯人
usually how
を
it
捕まえ
goes.
たんだ。
That really usually how it goes. Revenge happens, and then what next? Really, there's nothing next, is it? There's nothing really next to happen. It's just like, oh wow, I lived for revenge. I can't live anymore, I guess. Don't want to think. Please, you caught her.
仇を撃った彼女をそのまま花庭園に返したら、その迷いもやがて麻痺して、これからはより多くの命を奪う本物の暗殺者になるだろう。今の方がいい。せめてまだ君を恨む元気がある。
If she returned to the garden after getting her revenge, she would truly become an assassin, only taking more lives, turning from confusion to numbness. As good as it is now, at least she's fiercely hating you.
すべての人を幸せにすることも、すべての人に好かれることも不可能だ。
You can't make everyone happy or win or everyone's
自分
approval,
が正しいと思うことをすればいい。
but you're doing what you think is right.
最初の事件としては、なかなか悪くない働きだ。君は水準以上の活躍を見せたと言
Your
っても
first
いい。
big case. You did a great job, even exceeded expectations. You can take a good rest now. Christina nods, utterly exhausted after all that's happened. She hopes everything is over now. She opens up the news on the phone and puts on her headphones. On the screen, a stern and resolute old man is being bombarded by countless cameras and microphones. Christina recognizes him as the current commander-in-chief of FAC, who took office after Eclipse operation.
FAC の懲役金の件は今回の事件と何か関係がありますか？コンビクトは関与していますか？今回 FAC 総司令官が戻ってくることと関係はあるのですか？
Can you tell us what the FEC's compensation case has to do with this case? Were there any sinners involved in the case? Is it related to FEC Commander-in-Chief's return?
なぜこうした治安事件の現場に FAC が来ているんでしょうか？この事件は彼らの管轄ですか？
Why is the FEC
今回の
involved in the
作戦
security
計画に
case?
やはり何か隠されているので
Is
はな
this
いで
within
し
the
ょうか？
jurisdiction? Is there something else going on about this operation plan?
説明してください。みんながこの事件に注目しています。いくら隠そうとしても無駄です。
Give us an explanation. More people are paying attention. You can't hide this.
隠していることなどない。 FAC のすべての作戦は町の安全を守るためだ。我々はこんな取るに足らない事件で作戦を中止しない。今回はまさに作戦のために戻ってきた。
We have nothing to hide. All of the FEC plans and intentions are to protect the city-state, and our operations won't be hindered by such minor issues. I returned solely to defend the operation proposal.
しかしせっかくの機会だ。この場を借りて犯人たちに伝えたいことがある。
But since you're here for an interview, I'll take this opportunity to say a few words to the criminals.
もう一般人を狙うな。君たちの目標が FAC なら正面からかかってこい。
Stop targeting ordinary
戦場で会お
people.
う。
If you targeted the FSC, come at us directly. I'll see you on the battlefield. A soldier through and through. Leaving the East Side Public Security Bureau building, Christina walks alone in a quiet alley. The poem and her serial cases have been completed, so what will that woman do next? If Thurstal could sneak out of the garden, it's most likely that Mentor isn't at the base right now. So where would she go? To find her client? Or to bloom another flower? Anyway, the Mentor has never taken her seriously from the beginning. Christina has completely understood this, and suddenly she has a strong desire to see her. She wants to ask Kokilik, what is all of this for? Is it necessary to hinder such an important operation? Is it necessary to side with the underground? By sacrificing the chance to save the West District, does the vengeance obtained make the garden happy?
刑事さん、私は確かに経験不足だし、いつもドジをするけど。
Inspector, I'm inexperienced, careless, and often mess things up.
でも、私の嫌な予感って意外と
And
当たるんだ。
sometimes my terrible intuition is surprisingly accurate.
私の勘だけど、あの暗殺予告はまだ終わっていないと思う。
My intuition tells me that the assassinations from the poem is not over yet.
あの派手な女がやることだもの。このまま終わるわけがない。
Given that from the woman's flamboyant personality, it's impossible for her to end it quietly. As she's saying this, suddenly something sharp prickles the back of her head. Before she could react in shock, Christina lost consciousness. The results of the interrogation are handed over to the Hush. Under hypnosis, the Guardian Assassin spills everything she knows. Limited information. The most important intel has been subjected to counter-psychological suggestion and can't be currently extracted. She worries that the mentor has taken on a commission from evil forces. She has caught a glimpse of a long list. She knows the mentor made a dangerous trade for some reason. She deeply regrets sabotaging the mentor's plan. Shalom quietly flips through the report.
秋日和やまない宴金や酒
Yeah.
師走の子井戸に白雪一人行く
In autumn's prime, wine and mead gleam. Gold and silver set the festive scene. As years ends nears, vast and wide, over dried wells I alone stride.
師走の子井戸に白雪
At the end's nears, vast and wide, over dried up wells I alone stride. The writing is awkward but full of pride. The author must be very proud of this. She must want to execute her plan perfectly. But the plan was ultimately disrupted. She had to split into two scenes to cover for another little assassin. The two scenes essentially form a sentence of the poem. Sentence of the poem, the festive scene. The real target of as years ends nears, I alone stride is. She glances at the timetable. The agenda for the West District operation proposal is coming up soon. If the underground wants to disrupt it, if she herself wants to disrupt it, then compared to this tickling performance, she would. Shalom smiles.
盛大に花を咲かせるからにはこれだけでは終わらないだろう
Since it's grand blooming, I suppose it won't just
あの
end
師匠
here.
とやら
Right, mentor?
全部隊集合総司令官が襲撃を受けた繰り返す総司令官が襲撃を受けた
All personnel assemble. The commander-in-chief has been attacked. The commander-in-chief has been attacked.
花庭園の暗殺者に
The
よる
criminal
犯
is
行
the
だ
guardian assassin. Yeah. She went directly to them.
無敵
Oh fuck! Go killing. I'm checking chat out of pure fucking habit. The case is third case in the bomb. The case case fourth case in bomb. Third case. Obviously, this case is the third case corresponding to each other. According to the poem, the case is indeed the real third case. The conference room was in fact an accident. Yep, that's in the poem. Commander-in-Chief of the Sea is the victim of foretold and fourth line, and perhaps also the Guardian's real target and object of revenge. Yep. True target. The Guardian Assassin has kidnapped the real target, the FSC Commander-in-Chief. The military vehicle transporting the hostages leaving the rest, speeding towards the east side.
指令を承りました
The true target.
実行準備中です
This is exciting. This is objectively exciting. Temporary command of the FSC Hush Joint Task Force Unit. 5 a.m. 5:25 a.m. August 15th. Nightfall 113.
犯人は臨時司令部を襲撃して輸送車で総司令官を拉致したコード DS3864H 輸送車は今サビの川を越え
I like how she always speaks so deliberately and slowly. Like this is someone who's used to giving lots of detailed reports. So she basically always goes as slowly as possible, as presentable as possible. The criminal attacked the temporary command post, used a transport vehicle to kidnap the commander-in-chief, license number DS3864H. The vehicle just passed the rust and is now heading towards east side.
バイタルサインモニターを見る限り総司令官は生きておりまだ猶予は残されている敵がそこまで正確な
That is
情
also
報を握っているということは指定の勢力はとっくに FAC の内部に侵入している
Judging from the life signs monitoring, the commander is still alive. There is still time. The enemy getting such accurate information indicates that the underground has infiltrated FAC.
今回の救援任務は上艇ハッシュ部隊が引き受ける作戦時間2時間13分 予定の会議開始時間より前に司令官を奪還
The
し
core rescue operation will be carried out by the Paradise's Hush unit. The operation time is 2 hours and 13 minutes. Rescue the commander before designated meeting time. Prevent the spread of panic.
FAC 本部は動く必要はない決して情報を漏らすな司令官は予定通り到着すると伝えたまえその間に不審な行動をとり不安を煽り司令官の行方を探る者は指定からのスパイである可能性が大きい第9機関は彼らを注意深く監視する
Okay. The main force, FAC's main force should not act, do not disclose any information, inform them that the commander will arrive on time. During this period, anyone who behaves abnormally, spreads panic, or investigates the commander's whereabouts may be spy from the underground and will be closely tracked by the 9th Agency.
指定からの前哨戦の誘いだ我々のチャンスでもある西区作戦は必ず許可される対戦が来る前に
The underground
内通者とスパイを排除したまえ
has sent an invitation for a skirmish. This is also our chance. The West District operation proposal will definitely be passed. We should clean ourselves up before the war begins and eliminate all moles. When Christina wakes up, her surroundings are pitch black. The space is vibrating as if she's in a vehicle. Christina gropes around beside the dark metal boxes. There are even many people piled up next to her. Her phone is gone. Christina can't contact the outside world, so she takes out a small flashlight to shine around. There are guards and bureaucrats around, as well as some high-ranking individuals whom she can't identify. But they are all unconscious with small flowers blooming out of their bodies. Of course it's her. She hastily checks everyone she can see. Fortunately, the degree of blooming is not deep. It seems to be just a means for Kokilek to control people. Among these people, Christina finds one who is different. He is old but robust, has grey hair and body is full of injuries. Many parts of his body have been replaced with machinery, and he's under more severe restrictions than the average person, falling into a deep unconsciousness. This phrase Christina remembers seeing on the TV. The FAC Commander-in-Chief? Christina immediately understands her situation. A years and years, vast and wide, over dried up wells Aelon's tried. This is the real forest scene corresponding to the 4th line of the poem, and she, as one of the victims, was attacked last night and brought here. Perhaps sensing some awakening, a red light emerges from the corridor of the shadows. Christina looks over to see the red light transform to muck coalescing into filthy humanoid forms. These are the puppets from the underground that Shalom once told her about. That's right. She released cahoots with the underground scoundrels. Even Christina is now a victim, which means the criminal no longer needs a detective. This is the final case. Christina slaps her face hard, turning her cheeks bright red. Great. There's still time. We'll get away this time. It's clearly not the final battle in any capacity. Oh, 3 people. Okay. Let's do it like this. Oh, okay. Now.
うるさい静かにしたまえここで眠って私への感謝を抱きながらうるさい静かにしたまえ
Okay, gotcha. Die. Pew. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Contamination device. Should have known.
FAC の装備に反共同病装置があって本当に良かった。
Fortunately, the FEC armor still comes some anti-binary devices. I need to get out before the hypercube storage runs out.
この車は一体どこに向かってる
I
ん
have
だ
no idea where the car is going
さっき
or
は
how
時間を
much
かけ
time
す
I've
ぎたから
wasted.
急がなきゃ
I need to hurry. She strolls, moving. The unconscious commander-in-chief quickly discovers shielding device on the man.
これは汚染爆弾
Is this a contamination bomb? At this moment, the sound of electricity cracking comes from the other end of the darkness.
車内通信
Inside the car is a walkie-talkie? A familiar voice comes from the other end of the walkie-talkie.
こんにちは刑事ちゃん
Hello there, little detective.
さて
Okay. I didn't expect it to be a timed event. I assume this is the last one of part 2. I'm gonna be going in parts, so I'm gonna be stopping the recording here, and then I'm gonna start next recording. It will help me separate the episodes properly. Final ultimatum. In the speedy vehicle with Christina as the pawn, Shalom and Mentor begin their showdown.
私なんかよりふさわしい方もいますよね
I love how
ほ
the
らもうドアを叩かないでこれは FAC の装甲車よあなたが普段から叩いている金庫じゃない
Alright, stop banging on the door. This is the FEC super armored car, not the safe you're using to used to smashing.
あと感触を起こすのもやめなさいあなただって汚い手段で私の人をさらったでしょ
And stop throwing a tantrum. Did you also use dirty kid tricks to kidnap my people?
私はどうなってもいいから司令官を解放して
Do whatever you want with me, just let the commander go.
今回の西区作戦は本当に重要なの BR002 を封鎖できたら西区は救われるあそこの人々が捨て駒にされずに済む今は市場で動いてる場合じゃない
The operation in the West is very important. If we can block the BR002, the West can be saved. So many people won't have to be abandoned by the city-state. Now's not the time for you to throw a tantrum.
はいはい私にとってそんなことはどうでもいいわ
Sure, I know you
あ
don't
なた
care.
もそれを知っているでしょ
Sure, you know I don't care.
連絡先を教えなさいあなたが大好きなスイーパーお姉様に電話をかけるわよ
Give me a contract. I want to call your favorite hush sister. Familiar ringtone sounds from the other end of the walkie-talkie.
あはその必要はないみたい彼女からの電話よ
Oh, convenient. She's calling you.
私の携帯を
You
取っ
took my phone, obviously.
大人の会話を邪魔しないでそっちのマイクはオフにしたから
Shush. Adults are talking. Children shouldn't interrupt. I'll mute you. Kakil ignores Crest's roar. She directly answers the incoming phone call on the phone and turns on the speaker. Behind the driver's cabin, the younger girl is clearly irritated. She bangs on the door with all her might, trying to get the caller's attention. Kirkalik leisurely holds the phone between herself and the walkie-talkie. The car is going fast and noisy.
やあ師匠
Hello, mentor.
どうもスイーパーさんあなたの人は私のところにいるけどあまり驚いて
Hello,
ないよ
Hutch.
ね
I have your people, but you don't seem to be surprised at all.
君があの子を初めて誘拐した時に GPS を仕込んでおいたから位置は特定できるクリスティナがサビの川の近くにいるのは知っているきっとまた君に拉致されたんだろう
After the first time you kidnapped her, Christina was implied that we'd locate her. I knew she was in near arrest. Naturally, she was kidnapped by you again.
変な話ね彼女を拉致してからもう数時間経っている
That's
の
that's strange.
今さら電話をかける気になったの
I had her kidnapped for several hours. Why are you only calling now? Kakuli notices the banging on the door stops abruptly. She still lets out a cold laugh and continues to focus on the phone call.
自分の部下を利用して私の位置を特定するつもりひどいわね彼女の心が傷つくじゃない
Taking a living person as my tracker. How shameless. The little girl must be heartbroken.
総司令官もそこにいるのだろうすでに車の位置を特定した今回君を追跡しているのは治安官でも FAC でもない
The commander-in-chief is there too, isn't he?
ハッシュ部隊だ
We already locked on the vehicle's location. This time, it's not the sheriff of the FEC chasing you. It's the Paradise's exclusive hush unit.
今ならまだ交渉する余地があるよ。
We should still talk now, mentor.
あなたのハッシュ部隊なら6月から私の邪魔をしていたじゃない。そんな釣れないことを言わないで。
Huh? Your hush unit has been harassing me ever since June. Don't act so distant.
あなたの指揮に従うために電話に出たわけじゃないわ。
And besides, I didn't pick up your call to take orders from you.
聞きなさい、上帝のスイーパー。この車にはあなたたちの総司令官と十数人の作戦に関わる要人
Listen,
が乗って
hush
い
of
るわ。
Paradises.
そしてあなたたちが一番恐れている地底からの共同爆弾もある。
This car contains your
その目
commander in
的地
chief,
は入手。
a dozen important negotiators, and the underground mania bomb you hate the most. It's heading toward the east side.
運転しているのは地底の傀儡。狙撃しても無駄よ。途中でいかなる理由でも減速すれば仕込んだ爆弾は即爆発する。そうなればこの車を中心に 1km 圏内の M 値は2000を超えるわ。
Right now, an underground puppet is driving the car, sniping when affected. If anything causes the car to slow down during the journey, the bomb will immediately detonate, and the M value within a kilometer radius will exceed 2000.
爆弾を解除する唯一の方法は起爆装置を解除することよ。それはあのジジイのところにある。そしてあなたの子犬はジジイの隣にい
The
るわ。
only way to defuse the bomb is to dismantle the detonator directly. It's on the old man. The old man is next to your puppy.
彼女にそれができるかどうかあなたにもわかるでしょ。
As for whether she has the ability to do this, we both know the answer.
今は午前11時32分。あと30分でこの車はニューシティの人口密集エリアに着くわ。私はあなたと違って敵と交渉するつもりはないの。
It's 11:32 in the morning now. In less than half an hour, this car will reach the first densely populated area of this side. I'm not like you, and I'll negotiate.
これはあなたの自業自得よ。
This is what you asked for.
なるほど。君らしい選択だ。
Understood. This is the choice, indeed the choice you would make.
西区の作戦は必須だ。総司令官もな。上帝の要求はすでにはっきりしている。
The operation in the West District is
私は最
necessary.
小限の代償で
So is the commander-in-chief. The demands of the Paradises are clear, and I will eliminate the threat in the lowest cost. The car has bumped a few times, something that's clung on the roof. Quite a few. It's the Hush Elite Squad.
あなたたちごときで。
Don't be so sure. Kukulik hangs up the phone and casually muses the walkie-talkie. The other one is silent.
わかったお嬢ちゃん。大切にされてなくて悲しんでいるみたいだけど、そんなに落ち込む？
Alright, kiddo, don't suck. Don't suck? Don't sulk. So you've been overlooked. That's nothing new.
あなたのシャローム姉さんがスイーパー部隊をここに向かわせたわ。あなたを助けに来たわけじゃないけど。まあ、そもそもあいつらだけでは私を止められないけ
You
ど
deal
ね
with Shaloms and the Sun's Shush Squad, but they're not here to save you. Of course, they can't stop me either.
ルールは分かったでしょ？探偵ごっこはまだ続けるの？
I've told you how to play. Your detective game isn't over yet. You want to continue? After a moment of silence, a low but firm voice comes from the other end of the walkie-talkie.
必ず勝つ。好き勝手にはさせない
I will win. I won't let you have your way.
いいわ。あなたの正義を見せてみて。
Good. Then show me your justice. Underground Mania puppet is driving the car. Kokelik reaches into its body, pulls out a jet black sturdy floral sword. She breaks the car window and vaults onto the roof of the car. Ooh. Facing the rushing wind, she raises her hand to impale three white masked men who leap onto the roof, throwing them off the car. They tumble and bounce like trash, destroying the tray of several chasing cars.
どれほど滑稽なものか。
Let's see how ridiculous it is. She is strong. She is strong.
私の一
Kokelik is
刻
cool.
全てに
I can't say.
花が咲き
I
乱
can't
れる。
really say anything. She's just cool. Totally not simping for Kokelik. Totally not. 3 sinners, huh?
つまらないわ。また呼吸をしているものの相手をするなんて君に人の心はないのか。これほど多くの醜い自分でやるのも悪くない。
Let's go. I like this. I think I was just when I was finishing the previous stream on the on Path to Nowhere, I was just extremely exhausted. I find it ironic to have Shalom and Kokilik on the same team.
静かにしたまえ。ここで咲かせるわ。終わるまで。ここで眠って。私への感謝を抱きながら。
One more enemy, yeah. Well, one more after this. She's surprisingly forceful in her ultimate. Okay, it's dismantled. This is the very complicated bomb, but Christina doesn't have to think about it. That she has more. Think about that. She has more pressing matters. The door to the driver's seat swings open with a clatter, allowing the gust of wind to shatter off shards to shattered glass to flood into the carriage where Christina is. She quickly rushes out, her first action being to grab Mania Puppet. She hurls the puppet out of the window and quickly grabs hold of the steering wheel herself. Searching for the brakes, she realizes they have been removed. Kokilik! Lifting her head again, she finds the Kokilik has already taken a seat on the hood of the car, her back to Christina. Her hair streaming through the broken windshield obscures Christina's view. It's 11:56, almost time. I've already defused the bomb. You. Oh, is that so? Well done. Do you want me to praise you? Stop messing with me. That was the simplest of traps. Yeah, she wouldn't set a trap that would be easily dismantled by Christina if she didn't mean to bluff. Simple of traps. Even amateur like me could easily disarm it. You never intended to kill anyone with that. If you weren't aiming to kill the commander-in-chief, then what's your real target? Why are you doing this? What are you trying to tell us? Though it makes her voice somewhat unclear. The Hush squad has given up unfortunately attacking the vehicle. They can't do anything about me. They did leave a final ultimatum though. They said that 1 minute before entering the danger zone, they would detonate the entire vehicle. You bastard! Give me your phone and tell them that the bomb has been defused. It's all safe now. All we need to do is stop the car. I can drive it until it runs out of fuel if necessary. I already told them that. Huh? 5 minutes before you disarmed the bomb. I know you could do it, so I sent a message to the Hush. She hasn't responded to me yet. Do you think it's because she hasn't seen it, or because she doesn't believe it? What did you say? Or is it because... Far ahead on the road, a blurry figure appears. Just by the silhouette, Christina recognizes who that is. Shalom is standing in the middle of the road, with Raho at her side. Oh, isn't that your beacon of justice? Christina no longer Kokilik's taunts. She can sees the Black Grim Reaper, the Paradise's weapon known as Shorl, slowly opening. Shalom? She has seen its power before. It was once a magnificent force for justice that she trusted immensely. But now, it fills her with fear. I did. I've already stopped her. Believe me. I beg you. Don't use it. Please. Shell slowly unfurls, as if amassing energy. It analyzes the scene as if calculating death tool. Waves of light flow over it like a cruel countdown. By the way, that old man won't die so easily. Otherwise, the underground guy wouldn't ask me to do this. What I can't say is the same for the others in this vehicle. Including you. She looks her head at her where the hush is standing dissented along with a black-clothed guardian. Quickly scoffs disdainfully, flips onto the roof car and leaves, but not before uttering one last sentence. Goodbye, envy of justice. Right now, the only person in Chris' eyes is Shalom. The broken car window allows them to recognize each other in the distance. Shalom's eyes expression is like a frozen statue until one moment. At one moment, Christina sees her lips move. Position, force, timing. Go. A blue light shoots vertically into the sky from the center of Cheryl. Several rings of light immediately projected onto the ground in front of the vehicle. The moment the uncontrolled vehicle drives into them, something descends from the sky. White lightning covers everything in front of Chris' eyes, and a massive shockwave flips her over. The airbag deploys, but it's of little use as Chris' head slams hard onto the ground. Yep, she attacked her without any reservation. There's not even a single second. Oh, I do love it. Hush! Shalom stops the situation in her own way, but every gain comes at a cost. Obviously, of course she doesn't give a shit about the people inside. In the middle of the highway, amidst the fiery ruins, Shalom slowly walks over the scorched road surface to find the old man. He's run from his torn, revealing more than half of his mechanical prosthetic limbs. Even his heart area has a faint light pulsing. At least half of this body has not been destroyed by the impact, as it's resilient as iron. Several medical personnel rush over, administering CPR, and perform a series of procedures. The old man suddenly opens his eyes and takes a deep breath. Let's see your right, Commander. Gosh. He gasps for breath, hard to speak, but his gaze remains fixed on Shalom. I'm still alive. Did you use the rubber? Rest assured. To use that kind of power on you, I would need to apply it for permission, which would certainly not be granted. Besides, your body is very robust. There is no need for me to intervene. What about the others? And he turns to head to look at the direction of the transport vehicle. The large vehicle is already toppled over. The contamination cleanup team inspects the remnants of the mania bomb. No need for further action. The attack from Shorl directly purified all the contamination. No, it destroyed everything to the power from higher up. A more lethal strike. The vehicle contained a large amount of level 5 mania pollutants. You could withstand the impact, but you definitely couldn't withstand the contamination. Direct purification from Paradisos is the most prudent solution with the least cost. The least cost. Like what you did in the West District in March, BR002, the second time. Was that also what you called the least cost?
指定はすでに動き始めました。もう時間がありません。私への任務は明確です。それを執行するために私は代償を惜しみません。
Yes, the underground is in motion. Time is limited, and the mission I received was very clear at all costs.
分かっている。それが上帝が計算した結果ならば、我々はそれを信じるしかない。
Understood.
それは君たちにしかできないことだ。
If this is the result of the Paradise's calculations, then you can only trust it. Only you can do this. The commander-in-chief murmurs, pushing away the helping hand offered by the harsh and struggles to get up. His entire body of metal organs makes a dense noise as he finally stands.
一人の老人を殺すのにここまで手間をかける必要はないだろう。これまでの一連の襲撃事件と同じように、こちらはただの陽動だ。次の作戦のために
Yeah, definitely.
我々の注意を引いているの
There's
だ。
something else happening because we have two more episodes of this. Killing an old man doesn't require such a grand scheme. It's a smokescreen, just like the serial cases they were involved in previously. They're trying to divert their attention to make their next move.
あの女の暗殺リストに載っているのは、今回の作戦の中枢メンバーと FAC の精鋭ばかりだ。その中には行方がすでに知られた者もいれば、そうでない者もいる。
That woman has an entire assassin list.
私の口を割ろうと考えた
All
の
the
だろう。
backbone of this operation, the backbone of FCC. She's already got a handle on some of their whereabouts. Not all. She's trying to pry my mouth open.
私一人を殺しても無意味だ。FAC には勇気ある者が大勢いる。作戦を止めたければ、我々全員を殺さなければ
Those
ならない。
comebacks know all too well. Killing just me won't be enough.
それをよく知っているだろう。
FSC has plenty of warriors. If they want to halt the operation, they have to kill everyone.
やれる。
Dream on.
私のところで時間を無駄にするな。内部に潜り込んだスパイと我々に歯向かった敵を
Go
一網
back.
打尽に
Don't
しろ。
waste time on me. Round up all the spies and all the agents inside the FEC who had turned against us.
指定の奴らは今回の作戦に脅威を感じたからこそ、ここまで無茶な計画を立てたのだろう。
Their bold actions mean that our operation plan is already posing a real threat to them, which means we absolutely have to push through.
FAC は戦場で命を散らすことがあろうとも、あのような卑怯者の手にかかることはない。我々は引き続き作戦を行う。
And if we see men to die on the battlefield against Mania, not at the hands of these scoundrels, we'll continue our fight. You go and make them pay.
もちろんです。第9機関とハッシュはすでに動き始めました。あなたが命を落とさなかったおかげで、彼らの計画はこれで全て明るみに出るでしょう。
The 9th Agency and Hush have already taken action. If the enemy can't kill you, their plans will be completely exposed. A few soldiers rush up to help the old man leave. Before getting into the car, he takes one last look.
あの車にはコンビクトの刑事が一人いた。爆発する前に彼女が運転室にロックをかけたおかげで2割程度の衝撃を防いでくれた。彼女は無事だろうか。
There's an agent, Sinner, who locked up the front seats before the explosion, blocking 20% of the firepower. Hope she's okay.
あれは君の部下か。
Is she one of yours?
はい。
She is my subordinate.
人情のないものだ。
Did you truly have no humanity? The FSC special vehicle drives away. Shalom turns and heads towards the transport vehicle. Raku is giving first aid to Christina. The moment the attacks was launched, Christina turned to close the door. Rahu left Shalom and rushed to the front of the car, shielding her with her shields. The detective was not directly torn apart by the shockwave from above, but the fused metal still pierced her waist. She's stuck in a place, unable to move, and the loss of blood makes her consciousness hazy. Though the bloody mist in front of her eyes, Christina can't see who's approaching, but she recognizes the familiar footsteps.
ラフ、代わってくれ。
Rahu, let me handle this. She bends down and holds Chris' hand.
司令官は
Where's the commander? What about others?
起爆装置は解除できた。私はできたのに、そんなことをしなくてもいいのに。
I've already dismantled the device. I did it. There was no need.
君のような誠実な人は少ないんだ。あの女がさらに残酷な罠を仕掛けている危険性を無視することはできない。
Not everyone is insincere in you. The woman set up even more cruel traps. Such a risk cannot be ignored.
確認してくれない。本当に
Then, can I go and check?
できた
I
か。
want to know whether I managed.
その必要はない。
There is no need for that. Her right eye reveals a triangle. At the same time, Christina feels something touching her soul. It's a touch of white light, a vague glint giant shadow. Christina feels nauseous as if she's been invaded and squeezed. The pain in her body is lessening, but the stickiness cannot be eliminated. She wants to struggle, wants to shout questions, wants answers.
教えて。
Tell me.
司令官がさっき言ってた PR002 3月西区の暴動の件。
What the commander just said.
シャローム姉さんがそれに関与してた。
BR002, the March uprising in the West District. Were you involved?
二度目ってどういうこと？104年の BR002 は今回の事件と関係があるの？あれはまだ調査中と言ってなかった。
What did you mean by twice? What about BR002 and NF104, Nightfall 104? Is it related to this? Didn't you say you're still investigating?
シャローム姉さんは一体何をしてたの？
Shalom, what you've done, is it really justice? After a long silence, the nauseous feeling disappeared. Shalom let go of Christina's hand, clean and neat.
まあいい。
Forget it. Shalom gets up and returns to her shawl. Christina opens her eyes wide. She finally sees the person in front of her clearly. That person is looking down from a high place, indifferent, looking down at her. Then she turns her head indifferently. All of Christina's courage and grievances were instantly shattered by this sudden indifference.
違う。待って。
No, wait, I just...
救命処置はもう十分だろう。彼女を連れ戻すよう MBCC に連絡を入れたまえ。
Basic aid, first aid is enough.
私はもう必要としない。
Contact MBCC to take her away. I don't need her anymore.
違うの。私は知りたいだけ。
No, I just want to know.
ごめんなさい、シャローム姉さん。
I'm sorry, Shalom. I just...
ラ
Rahu. Rahu gets up and leaves Christina once she confirms the arrival of rescue team. Yeah. The West District operation plan has been unanimously approved. The construction of the defense center were confirmed. Funds, resources, and manpower will be in place immediately. Internal investigation and tactical meeting will begin immediately. The underground wants to be prepared, X. In this fast FAC operation, you have a more important real task to complete.
任務を受けたまわりました。
X?
そしていつも通り
Not
す
for
べ
a
て遂
title.
行して
Okay.
みせます。
The request has been received. I will fulfill them all, as I always have. In the distance, the garden mentor who easily escaped is happily looking at this other side of the rust, where the FEC temporarily operation headquarters is emitting a sharp sound.
あらら、依頼は失敗しちゃったわね。それどころか、依頼主までバレたみ
Oh
たい。
dear, I felt the task got made. What should I do next?
面倒な人がそっちに行っちゃったわ。親愛なる依頼主さん。あなたたちはどうするの？
Trouble is coming. Dear client, what are you going to do? Don't go. Yeah, she's completely abandoned. Jesus. I think it's fair to say the Garden assassinated the commander-in-chief just to restrain the FCC troops and facilitate the true mission elsewhere. Yep. Okay. The guy was trying to stir mayhem. The was merely out of someone else. Yep. Oh. Yep. Okay. Okay, no, that's wrong. It's now clear that the series of cases was led by the mentor of the Guard. The narrative is extremely complex and can only be analyzed by consolidated information from previous cases. Targets of the 4 cases are related to the FAC operation in Nightfall 103, except the Commander-in-Chief of the FAC. The victims of the other 3 cases each held their fault. The Commander-in-Chief is also the only victim who was not killed. The mentor may have intentionally spared his life. The motives behind the Guardian's crimes execute the mission assigned by the Underground. Create chaos in the city to distract the FAC's troops. Avenge the real victims of the Nightfall 103 incidents. All of those motives are true, but the mentor's ulterior motives is hidden behind them. Okay. Delay. Okay, let's see the internal report. Public discourse. There has been a sudden outbreak of negative public opinion. Unknown parties have exposed the FAC internal information on multiple platforms, mainly focusing on the aftermath of the Eclipse operation in Nightfall 103 and the recent serial attacks. Rumors of the FAC internal corruption and malicious sacrifice are also being spread. This has greatly stirred citizen sentiment and encouraged strong opposition to the imminent Operation Blockade. The FAC's credibility and public image have all been severely hit. Internal review summary. Blockade operation has encountered severe resistance since its proposal. It's currently impossible to identify the party behind the attacks and negative rumors. However, it's clear that the enemy's goal is to disrupt the operation's progress with public discourse and undermine morale with the FAC. Major setup. The Commander-in-Chief held an FAC internal meeting to stress the importance of blockade operation containing and isolating the West District Black Ring. He also issued an official letter to the city expressing his firm intention to implement the operation and requesting the re-evaluation meeting to proceed as scheduled. Emergency announcements. Warning, warning, the Commander-in-Chief has been attacked by an assassin. Okay, yeah. Okay, this is the first episode concluded. We're going to be returning back in episode 2 of the catch-up, effectively. I'm going to be starting the delay, part 3. Iris. Actually, I want to see what colors are. Poppy, Marigold, Poppy, and Iris. I see. Okay, I'll be back in another recording.